So this might sound weird, but I want to talk about ghosts. Sunday, early hours of the morning, I was woken up by someone saying, "Rachel, Rachel." It freaked me the fuck out. I sprung up in bed, I looked around, I couldn't see anything, the dogs were fast asleep, and I think if there had been someone here they would have reacted. And I mentioned it to my mum the next day and she goes, "That's weird because there's always things happening around the house." And she's right. We're always hearing things like doors closing, and then we go and look around and there's no doors that were like closed or no doors that could have been closed. We're always hearing things fall on the floor and we go and check and there's nothing there. It's the weirdest thing, but the reason I'm saying this now is because it happened again last night. Last night I was woken up by the same whispering, "Rachel, Rachel." And I swear to God, I freaked the fuck out again. And I'm watching Dallas. But I do kind of believe in that thing. That kind of stuff, that ghosts exist. But if there is one here, I don't know why it's going, "Rachel, Rachel." Like, it scares me. It really scared me. And we're having things disappear as well. Like, we're always complaining that cutlery disappears and all of that. Like, our knives and forks must just sprout legs and disappear. Because we go to the drawer to get one and like all of a sudden there's like 2 or 3 left. And it's not that they disappear all at once, just one at a time, they slowly vanish. And in a previous vlog, I was shopping with Lawrence and he mentioned that he bought me clothes and underwear. My knickers disappear. And I always joke that there's a man living in the loft and he's coming down and nicking my knickers. But what if there's not? What if it's a ghost? Like, it's scary. This close to getting a Ouija board. This close to trying it out. This close. Okay, so I just spoke to my husband again about the ghost thing. Because things disappearing, I don't know, for some reason sounds to me more like a poltergeist thing. He's really skeptical. He doesn't believe in this kind of thing, but I do. And he also triggered during the phone call that he reminded me that Cara will often like stare at a wall, or like, yeah, just like faintly stare at a wall as if there was someone there, as if she was looking at someone. But there's obviously no one there. So I spoke to him again and he recommended that I speak to a friend of his whom I've now messaged on Facebook, who is kind of like a ghost detective. And he might be able to tell me what I'm dealing with. But he doesn't want me to get a Ouija board. I told him on the phone, I'm this close to getting a Ouija board and just finding out, and he goes, no, you'll open the thing, you know, doesn't that open it up for them and all of that. I was like, you know, for someone skeptical, you sure know a lot about it. But yeah, no, I'm gonna wait for a reply to that message now. But I'm still freaked out. I really need to start getting on with my course. I've moved on to module 6, but I'm lacking motivation for it. I want to do it, I want to become a certified dog groomer, but my motivation has just gone out the window, and I don't know why. Dog's insane, wearing cuddles before we go for a walk. Ellie!
Monkeys.
What, my dispenser?
Yeah.
Can't find my bag dispenser either.
Eh?
I'm just vlogging Dallas. Because he's being so shoppy today. My baby. Cara's got a lipstick. That's weird as well, because I always know where my dispenser is, usually. I lost it last week as well, and I found it again. And now it's missing again. Where's the ghost? Nah, doubt it. Say hi. Hello. Dallas. Okay, I'm in heaven today. The temperature's cooler, there's a good wind, you can tell we're definitely leaving summer and getting into autumn, or at least from the feel of it, and that's one of my favourite times of year. I love it. And Dallas loves it too. Okay, so I've been thinking about it and I think I know where my lack of motivation is coming from. We're coming up to I'm getting anxiety talking about this. I can feel my chest getting tight. We're coming up to a year since we moved here, and it's made me think a lot about the year before that and how hard it was. Long story short, where we were living before, we were evicted from, but not even like the quick kind of eviction. This went on for a year. We fought it, we did everything we could, but in the end we had to get on the council's register and get a council house, which is what we're in now, which is a really nice house in a really nice place. And to be fair, we haven't been happier since we moved here. But the whole thing started September 16th, 2014. I woke up to somebody in the house, somebody coming up the stairs, and I thought, no, it's just mum. And I had a knock on my door, and I remember it was like saying mum and sitting up, and the door came open, and all I saw was a figure, because my room was dark and there was a light on in the hallway, and all I saw was a figure standing at the door, which, as you can imagine, is a really scary thing to have happen. Turned out it was the letting agent. Now, I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to name the letting agent or the people involved, because it's just not worth it anymore. They know what I think of them. I think they're absolute, I'm not going to say it, but they know what I think of them. Anyway, I went out to talk to her. I got up and I went out to talk to her, and one thing that pissed me off was she'd left the front door open. So Cara shot out of my room straight downstairs and out the front door. Luckily, you know, the agent called her back in and she came, because obviously Cara's not seen her before. Or if she had, she'd not been that close to her, so she came because she was more intrigued about who this was. Shut the front door and talked to her, and she goes, "This is a scheduled management visit." No, this is not a scheduled management visit, because with scheduled management visits you have letters. We didn't get a letter. I'll explain more about that part later. But she stops me and she goes, "You're not supposed to have dogs here." No, I had a verbal agreement with my previous landlady that I could have dogs in the house. She knew about it, she was fine with it, there was not a problem. At some point she sold the house, and we were aware of this at the time. And this guy bought the house, and this guy knew we had dogs. He must have known when he took over, because he viewed the house and he must have seen like dog beds, dog bowls, all of that, but he didn't react well later on. And we're talking like, this is like a year or two after he took over the house and after he took over the tenancy. Something changed, I'm not sure what, but apparently he changed his mind, which I don't think he was allowed to do. And I argued with her then and there on the spot and said, no, we're allowed dogs, I had a previous agreement with so and so, blah blah blah. She goes, you don't have that agreement with this landlord, blah blah blah, all of that shit. So obviously got really upset. It was really early in the morning, we were really tired, and my mum woke up and she stayed in her room because she thought we were being burgled and I was arguing with a burglar. But yeah, fast forwarding, I went to the council offices that day, told them what happened. They said you have to get, if they said it was a scheduled management visit, there should be a letter, they should have it, you know, go and get a copy of it, go and ask them why they didn't contact you to confirm it, go see Citizens Advice. I wanted to do all of that. It was a big stressor. And I went into the agents and they printed off a letter that clearly had just been put together. It was on plain paper, there was no logo for the estate agents, like with the estate agent's name on or anything. It had clearly just been put together. I tried to get her fired. I challenged the eviction. I reported them to the property ombudsman, and everything just went against us because it became evident later on that, I don't know, maybe they had these guys in their pockets or whatever. We fought the eviction, like I just said. We tried so hard, and you know, we were really scared. We were going to be out on the streets because we had nowhere to go where we could take the dogs. The landlord gave me an option. At one point he said, look, you can keep the roof over your heads if you get rid of the dogs. It's your choice, roof over your heads or dogs. I straight away squashed that and said, no, my dogs are my family, they're my babies. I would take them over a roof over my head any day. And you know what, I feel exactly the same way now. They are my life. Lawrence, my sister, you know, they were such a big support throughout that whole thing. When we were so stressed and we were so upset, and like, because of her standing in the doorway, I'd had reoccurring nightmares. I had to go see the doctor. I got put back on antidepressants. I got, you know, because I'd suffered from anxiety and depression before, but I'd started having panic attacks. I was grinding my teeth in my sleep, and at one point it got so bad I started self-harming. I was cutting my wrist. I don't know if you can see there, but I cut all down this side, and it made me feel better. I'll admit that made me feel better, but I wouldn't promote it in any way. I never ever want anyone to do that, because it's obvious that when you do, you're not in a good place, and I definitely wasn't. And we looked into private renting because the council wasn't going quick enough. We got turned down for private renting because we got a bad reference of our landlord, obviously for having the dogs. As I've explained, I had a verbal agreement with the previous landlady, but that didn't count. No one cared about that. They cared about what the current landlord thought. And yeah, we were pretty much stuck in a living hell. Then around this time last year, we got selected for a house. One of the ones we bid on. It was this house in this little village, which is far away from Chaventry, where we were. And we've not been happier since. Like, we moved in and everything changed. You felt the weight lift and all of that, and we just felt so much better, and we've been happy living here. Like, yeah, we had teething problems when we moved in. We got into rows, and, you know, it was obviously going to be a hard adjustment, but it's worked out and we're happy. And I think that's probably why I have lack of motivation, like I was saying, is because, you know, it's coming up to a year since we moved, and it's bringing back memories of what we went through the year before. Like I said, we're happy now, and we're settled, and the dogs are settled, and they're happy, and I'm married now, and things couldn't be better. One thing that's really funny, like, I think it's funny now, I didn't think it was funny at the time, is the dogs were picking up on the stress of what we were going through. And if anything happened outside, they would pick up on it, like fireworks, kids being loud and all of that, and I used to sing to them to calm them down, and the only song that popped in my head whenever I had to sing to them was "You Are My Sunshine." And the last line that I used to sing was "Please don't take my sunshine away," and that used to scare me, because it used to upset me, because I used to be so scared that I was going to lose my dogs because of what we were going through. And I used to get choked up singing it, and that's what made me end up doing this video, is because I was walking Dallas just now and he was just trotting along quite happily, and that song popped in my head, and I was like, okay, now it makes sense, now it's all clicked, now I know why I've been feeling the way I'm feeling, you know, and why I have lack of motivation to do pretty much anything at the moment. But now I know, I can deal with it, and I can get on with what I need to get on with, and hopefully put it behind me for good. Had a great day. I went to my sister Tanya's house. I went Pokemon hunting in the car with my nephew. He actually caught me a Pokemon I didn't have, and I caught him a couple and did all the Pokestops for him, like helped him with that, and it was a lot of fun. And then I went to watch my nephew do karate, and then I had to come home. The day went by really quickly, but I had fun, and I hope to do it again soon. And I'm in Daventry tomorrow, and I'm going to sort out a day for Lawrence to do the makeup challenge. He's agreed to it, so that should be fun. No, you're looking over, you're going to say something.
I'm going to say a word, but not much anyway.
Yeah. He hurt me. I went to slap his ass, and he put his arm out to defend himself, and I whacked my arm on it.
Don't mention the other things that have hurt me. I've lost a couple of teeth, and my balls are black. Never mind.
He will get it in a minute.
I am actually about to fuck again, but never mind.
God. But no, now my arm's going red and my fingers hurt.
Yes, you're still
Because
waiting.
it got me right on my vein.
Yeah, you're still waiting, mate.
I won't.
You always do.
We're off to grandmother's house. Whom I will say is not there. She's still in hospital or is at the care home now.
Get home.
She's been moved back.
Yeah.
She's been moved back to the care home, so she's not in her house. Not that we don't care, but it's empty and I do have to go there anyway because they're selling the bed and I have to take a photo of it.
And what else are we doing?
You've already said what else we're doing.
We're having sex.
He's a smug little git, isn't he? He knows it, Tim. I knew you were going to do something. It's why I paused.
I always think about it, honey. You think I don't?
Yeah. My God. I just got back from the doctor's. I was marking things on the calendar. And while I'm doing that, Mum's standing next to me. We hear a woman's voice come from inside the living room. I'm in the living room now. There's no woman here. It's just the dogs. That was creepy. And we can't even make out what she said. I wish I had my phone recording at the time. I wish I was recording because then I could play it back, deal with the volume, you know, try and make sense of it. But there's no one here. And I've got goosebumps now. That's creepy. What was that? The TV's not even on, look. Look, the TV's not even on. So if the TV's not on, what was that? It's not Dallas, he's there, she's there, Cara's there. And Mum was with me in the kitchen, writing on the calendar. I'm scared. I will say this, I did hear back from the ghost hunter, ghost detective, whatever he's called. That was Dallas that time. And he said we're having a spirit-based event, and it's usually when a relative, a family member of ours, will be visiting during times of stress or when we need help or anything like that. So he said it's nothing that can hurt us. But do you get what I mean now when I say someone's whispering my name in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
And we had that voice then?
Yeah.
That was scary. Granted, the whispering my name's only happened twice. Fingers crossed. I felt better knowing it, like, knowing that it could be a family member. I don't feel so good now. Okay, so that's the end of the vlog this week. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.